Now, the rising cost of living is affecting all of us.
Now, payments from the government to help with the cost of living will start to be given to people today.
Global surging energy prices, which many of you have probably noticed.
In large part by higher energy costs and continuing supply chain disruption.
The cost of living crisis is in full swing, and people are now having to implement a more frugal lifestyle. Everyone is asking the question, can I still afford to travel? My name's Lewis, and let's have a look at how to travel during the cost of living crisis. The price of petrol and diesel is now at an all-time high. The cost to fill up your average family car now exceeds over £100. So this begs the question, is low-cost transport with a car even still an option? I mean, when I started driving it was £1.16. To cut costs, some may opt for a more pedal-to-the-metal experience. With cycling good for you and the environment, it can be a win-win. But as we know, even the best intentions may not be able to survive that first hill. Public transport is another option that works for many. The availability of seats or lack of route options, however, may be a deal breaker for some. So, the car it is then? Or is it? With electric cars still out of the reach of many people, is the internal combustion car still able to transport us in a cost-effective manner? I mean, when planning a journey now, it's miles per gallon instead of miles per hour. For example, the difference in fuel economy of a large SUV compared to a small hatchback is shocking. And in a time when fuel is on the rise, even the hatchback seems a bit pricey. So, is the car still the perfect vehicle for personal transportation? I think not. What you need is one of these beauties, a Honda Super Cub. Easy to ride, reliable, and best of all, cheap. Frugal is the name of the game when it comes to the Honda Super Cub. With a design that has barely changed since the 60s, all that development has rightly been focused on the engine. 89ccs of pure Japanese ingenuity, all combined into one nifty package. The Super Cub was designed for one job, getting you from A to B without breaking the bank. So I thought, let's put that to the test. How far can I go on one tank of fuel? The Super Cub boasts a wallet-friendly 4-litre petrol tank and a claimed range of 88 miles. Perfect for city travels, but if you've watched my previous videos, you know it can do more than that if inclined. So with my bike brimmed to the top, a whopping 0.85 gallons, my legs tucked in for optimal aerodynamics, I pointed my wheels toward Pudding Country, beautiful West Yorkshire. Now, Honda back in the 60s advertised the Super Cub as able to achieve
200 miles to the gallon.
Now, I think that must have been going downhill with the wind behind you, but I do believe that my bike will be able to beat the claimed range of 88 miles and make it the 106 miles to my destination. To achieve my goal, I decided to stay off motorways and dual carriageways when possible, as keeping my mighty steed at 30 miles or 40 miles per hour would give me the best possible chance of reaching Yorkshire. Now, if you don't know anything about Super Cubs, you might not realise that they don't have a clutch. Well, not one that you would have to operate. Instead, it was made with a semi-automatic. Just let off the throttle and change your gear with your foot. This was critical to fulfill one of the Super Cub's design briefs. You must be able to ride it one-handed, crucial for noodle delivery drivers. But after a few miles of delightful scenery, I decided to pull over and check my fuel. sit rep. We've gone a certain number of miles. We're at a certain location. I don't realise where I am actually. It's not even gone down the first bar. Go on forever. Oh, I was really surprised actually how little fuel I had even used after 30 miles. I continued on my way, enjoying the scenery and coasting down as many hills that I could. Travelling at this slow speed does let you enjoy the scenery a bit longer, and by doing this my pennies are being stretched further, until you arrive at the bloomin' traffic lights. Anyway, after 3 hours I decided to pull in for a cup of tea and brekkie at Macca's. Always turn that fuel tap off so your precious fuel doesn't disappear into the ether. And as usual, some nice chaps came and talked to me about my Honda. Every time. What year's yours?
Mine is 1976 or something. Yeah, it's not
nice
quite,
round headlight.
Yeah, it's a round headlight.
I'm doing, I do YouTube videos.
Oh, okay.
And I'm doing an economy challenge, so I'm getting from South Shields to Hayworth.
What are you thinking? 100?
Oh, I think I'll get it. I mean, what have I got? I'm more than halfway now, and I'm only down one bar.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So
barely moving with no G.
Yeah.
Like Steve Wright.
Yeah.
No jockeying.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Unbelievable.
I know he's gone.
Well,
now.
everybody's backlash against it.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
Stay strong, Steve.
How much drink would you like?
Can I get a cup of tea?
Yeah, anything else?
That's it, thanks. So I've just had some breakfast because I did leave at 6, so I'm so surprised of how good my bike's doing. I mean, I've done 60 miles, I'm more than halfway on the 110-mile journey, and it's only gone down one bar. It doesn't even say I'm halfway empty. This might be the solution to the fuel crisis. So with my foray into the art of food blogging complete, it was time to go. Now if you're thinking about getting a bike, you might actually be hard pressed to find an old Super Cub like mine. Nowadays these bikes have steadily been increasing in value, probably because everyone has customized them. Sacrilege. I'd rather take the bus than ride that thing. But don't despair, Honda have made a new one. But really, any modern fuel injected, small displacement bike can get you amazing fuel mileage.
I can get 70 miles to the gallon on this hog.
Totally redeem yourself!
And you get added benefits like using bus lanes or lane splitting to avoid traffic, or even free tolls in places. For example, here's the Tyne Tunnel near me. Using a bike saves me £1.90 every time. So if I commuted through this tunnel for a full-time job, there and back, every weekday, that would be £988 a year. But with my amazing cost-benefit analysis finished, I met one of the reasons why a car is also good: rain. But hey, I really needed to head into this garden centre real quick. Look at that, the rain stopped. How fortuitous. A little while later, I entered the spectacular Yorkshire Dales National Park. Unfortunately, there was a lot of hills to impede my fuel-saving endeavour, where I soon discovered another pitfall of motorcycling: other drivers. With my trousers sporting a new colour scheme, I took in the view while also wondering when I would hit my reserve. Spoke too soon. The purpose of a reserve is that when the main tank runs out, you should head to the next petrol station. I was still 10 miles away from the petrol station, but with the dreaded traffic lights, would I be able to make it? The scenery became much more Yorkshire with every mile. My range anxiety starting to escalate with every village I drove through. It was when I had to go on another dual carriageway when I started to think I might run out, when of course I ran into more traffic lights. But alas, my worrying was for naught, as with a few more miles and more traffic lights, my salvation came into view, the Shell garage. Now with the mighty 90 in need of a well-deserved drink, it was now finally time to see how it did. Now the current fuel price was 189 pence per litre, so after filling up it cost a whopping £6.69 to travel 116 miles. But what does that really mean? Well, a quick calculator check later and behold, my Honda has managed to achieve 149.8 miles to the gallon, or for you metric users 1.57 litres per 100 kilometres. I was staggered at how good the Super Cub was able to do. I wasn't expecting such a good result from a 20-year-old carburetted bike, but it just goes to show what a tiny engine can do. So, when trying to combat this new crisis we all find ourselves in, perhaps instead of looking to modern solutions, we should look to the ones from the past to reach our destinations. Speaking of destinations, where did my bike take me? More on that next time. And although fuel prices are now dropping at the time of this video being published, we have to ask ourselves, when fuel prices rise again, and they probably will I be able to travel, or will I be barely moving?